Hello, lovelies. Happy Wednesday. We made it to visualization day, which is super exciting. I just got done mowing my lawn, so if I look a little bit more messy than usual, that's why. So as you guys are popping on, I'm going to go ahead and do like a little review of what we've done this week so far. Our very first week into our schedule in this group, which is really exciting. Monday, we talked about releasing blocks, which is going to be our Monday theme, doing an overall healing process. And we talked about not judging what it is that you went through and not judging what it is that you're thinking about in the process of healing that thing. And then letting go of that thing with a certain ceremony, something you can really get your energy behind. Then having patience if it comes back, if it didn't quite leave your space. Reminding yourself that your heart space might be remaining open to reconnecting with that situation, having that thing come back. Hi, Kelly. How's it going, love? And the fourth step was letting go or doing that ceremony again. And then the fifth step was generosity, making sure to really be generous with yourself, your self-love, your own essence, to really push that forward and to really push that circumstance outside of your heart space. That was Monday for releasing. Tuesday, we did our first law of attraction day. Went through those 3 steps of law of attraction, which included that attracting, which is bringing in that thing that you wanted, and then segment intending, which is having those little 30-minute increments. I'm going to do this in that 30 minutes. This is what I'm going to have accomplished in that segment. It can be 1 day, 1 hour, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, as long as you have those segments, which really invoke that action step. And then the third step is the art of allowing, which is allowing and surrendering yourself to that process and really trusting that it will happen and knowing that it's yours by being a vibrational match. So that was yesterday. And then today is our first visualization day, which is really exciting. I'm going to go over to you guys what's in the description, which is maybe why some of you guys have not been able to achieve this visualization that you're hoping to achieve while you're in meditation. So we went over this a little bit yesterday. When there's tension in our body or you're sitting up straight and your back is just tense and you can't get your mind out of that tension, it's really simple to just lay down flat. I know that I have mild scoliosis, I think it is, where like there's a curve in your spine. So don't tragically beat yourself up for not being able to sit upright and sit still. You can lay down with no pillow and it'll kind of give that effect of falling backwards, and it will help propel you into that step of relaxation and also feeling like you're kind of going into a black hole, right? With falling backwards a little bit. And that's actually a really good thing to have happen when you're in meditation, because it kind of feels like you're being sucked into that next level or that next stage. So we'll just go ahead and jump right in. I have a couple of steps here for you guys. One of them is to set an intention for your meditation. So this kind of goes into that segment intending, right? Where you have an intention for your half-hour meditation, 1-hour meditation, whatever it is. And sorry, I'm just going to pull this up on my phone so I don't miss any comments, because a lot of times my computer does not show me what's going on. So if you're here, go ahead and say hello so that I know who you are and that you are here. Okay, perfect. So set an intention for your meditation. In this half hour, I plan to see this, that, and the other. So if you go on YouTube and you are just picking a past life exploration or a love mastery or a chakra activation or a spirit guide meditation, animal guide meditation, your intention will obviously follow what the intention was for the person who created that video. So today, for example, my meditation could be to meet my animal spirit guide, and you want to be very specific. So if you're following Sorry, I've got some itchiness going on. There's like smoke in the air. Utah's been kind of on fire. Tons of wildfires going on. So I totally blew my nose earlier today. This is really nasty, side note. And there was like smoggy colored dirt coming out of my nostrils. Kind of nasty. So your intention is going to mirror what it is that you're using as a purpose to an end as your meditation progresses. So that's the first step. The second one being have the point of entry already in your mind. So a lot of times people will start with relaxing your body one muscle at a time, right? That's a really important piece, is to make sure you're not in a million places at once. So concentration on the breath, they'll usually go over that. And then also starting with your toes, going up through your ankles. How do your calves feel? Do you even have feet? Taking that mind space into those body parts and really putting yourself there is really important, okay? So they say, you know, wiggle your toes, relax your feet, concentrate on your calves. So then your mind goes to that space and you just kind of relax all the way up through your thighs, your abdomen, and you can do kind of a mini chakra activation as you're accessing this point of surrender and this point of allowing that you're really getting towards in order to move forward with your mind being that visualization. So this is kind of just a side note, being like step 1.5, which is relaxing yourself and putting that concentration to the breath, which most of the time is in meditations. If you're going to find them on YouTube or a podcast or something, that's going to be included. So the second point, and this is especially if you're doing this yourself without YouTube or something, then it could be an access point or an access method, like a point of entry. So we go over this a lot in the Akashic Records, which starts in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, by the way, you guys. So August 13th, I will start an 8-week program that takes you guys through a certification course. So you will be a certified practitioner of the Akashic Records, which is essentially this place where visualizations happen. So this place that we're going with this point of entry is the Akashic Records. So just super fun side note. I'll go ahead and put that in the comments, the link for that. But we go over in that course all of these different points of entry. So I have one that's specific to me that I will be going over in the course, but there's a couple are like stone steps. You'll see, I've got my tarot cards here. I'll actually see if I can find, oops, as I push my things around. I'm just going to see if I can find a general picture, because these cards that I have right here with me just happen to be kind of perfect. So there's a certain amount of surrender that happens. So when you're walking down a corridor or you are going through a door, there's like a passage happening, you're kind of moving between realms, and that's something that your mind can really get behind. It was this one that I had in mind. You have these steps, right? So it's dark where you are and where you're going is light. So I really like that. And then of course we have a little doorway here as well. So it's just a couple visuals to give you guys something to be thinking about as you're moving into this state of meditation and then visualizing. So I'll get into a little bit of what the visualizing method is, but you have to actually enter that space, being the Akashic Records or the Akashic realm. Einstein talked about it as just the space between particles, and he called it the Akashic field. So I just think that's really interesting. It's just this like spacious place where stillness resides, and once your brain can tap into that, or your aura or your soul or your spiritual being can really tap into that space, it sends you on a little journey. So I have here Garden Gate. I've had that in a couple meditations that I have done. Forest path, just a path through the forest until you get to a clearing, and that clearing is that like little essence, and or a long corridor. So you go through the long corridor, and then the staircase is at the end, and that one is a little tidbit on what I will be teaching in the records course. So that's step number 2. But I do want to add a little bit to that, which is if you're one of those people that's kind of type A, a little bit action-oriented, strategic, a little bit into that whole state of overthinking on a daily basis, it's going to be really hard for your mind to really get behind this state of stillness. So if you're having trouble with that, my advice to you is to imagine your thoughts as a rolling river, and the river is like crashing and pounding, like kayak type, super adrenaline rafting type waves going on in this river, going down really fast. And then you imagine being in that river or aside from that river, and your thoughts are the white crashing waves of the river. And then as you move forward into this state of stillness, the water is slowly coming to a state of something you can handle. So your thoughts become the water, and then you're slowly going down this river and slowing that water down. And that's something that has worked for me and that I have known worked for others too. So quite a few different ideas there to just work through in your mind as you're moving forward with meditation, especially laying backwards, like I said, in kind of an in slant, just a little bit of a slant where your head is down and your feet are up. It'll take tension off your back, and you'll also feel a little bit like you're falling, which will help this process. So it'll help your mind kind of release that need to control. And that brings me to our third step, which is to always, always, always trust what you see with no judgment while you're in the records or while you're in your meditation. So I had this thought the other day when I was thinking of this live video to do for you guys. I thought of, like, what if somebody is thinking of like a salon, right? And they're just like, I'm not a hairdresser. I don't do self-care stuff. I don't think to myself that I should just go to the salon and get pampered, but I'm seeing in this meditation myself in a chair. Hey, Donnie, how's it going? We're on step 3 already, so you might have to catch the replay, but it's not a huge deal. I'm just talking about trusting what you see in the moment of meditation without judging what you had seen. So if, for example, somebody taps into a state of stillness in meditation and they see a salon and they're either a guy or they just are somebody who does not really envelop themselves in this whole, what's the word here? I want to say development, but like spoiling themselves in like a lavish life. That could be the exact message that you're supposed to get, is this whole idea of lavish pampering and treating yourself with a greater respect than just what you can do at home, but having somebody else do this for you, or just this luxury that you've been not really giving yourself. That could be the message that's coming through if you see a salon. Now, of course, if you're seeing animals, that can be extreme where your guide is ready to come to you. If you're seeing angels, you can put a name to that angel afterwards. I've personally had several angel meditations where I did not know who it was until afterwards, and I looked up the characteristics, and then after the characteristics, I could figure out who it was. So Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, Ezekiel, there's lots and lots of the archangels, but then also people from the past, just all sorts of ancestors, grandmothers. You'll kind of get a feeling. It won't necessarily be all the time just a specific word or a direct message. A lot of times it's either a vision of something very simple. During a client call once, I just got a baby cradle. And then I was like, do you have kids? Do you want kids? Is there kids involved? And it was actually the kids were causing stress in a relationship. So we can get to the direct message, but we have to say what we see. This is especially important when you're working with clients. If you just see a single rose and you don't know what that means, if you say it out loud, they could say, oh, my son passed away and every time he was in trouble, he brought me roses, right? So it could just be something totally random to you, but to your client or to your subconscious, if you're just doing this for yourself, you know, it could be very influential. So trust what you see. Do not judge what you see. I've even heard people compare this, like if you see a purple unicorn and it just makes no sense whatsoever. Just trust that that is what you see and voice that and dig deeper while you're in the records or you're in the meditation so that it can evolve from that image or from that word that you're hearing. Another way to access this point is kind of the opposite of visualization, but just that channeled writing, continuous writing, especially if you're one to write in cursive or something that you can just kind of look away and write and still see what you're saying and understand what you're saying. I find it easier to look away than to look at the page, because a lot of times I'll see the words that I'm writing and I'm kind of interfering by saying, oh, okay, like after saying this concept, obviously it moves into this other concept. So just as you guys are going about this, I've got a little mantra for the day. And this is something I got in my Akashic Records, so feel free to use it. It is just when you're kind of feeling like this isn't the direction you want to be going, or you're trying to get into meditation and you have too many thoughts going on, you can say this, which is, I can see myself straying out of alignment. I choose to live from my state of creative purpose instead. Creative purpose instead. I now restore my presence to what brings me joy in the now, and so it is. So that's helped me a lot. I wrote it next to my bed, and I would read it every morning. So I had it in my head that like waking up had to be this crazy, strenuous thing, where really we need to wake up with a sense of being grounded and a sense of, you know, intention for the day. So I made sure that that was right next to my bed, because waking up was kind of the hardest part of the day for me for a little bit there. So I just kind of flipped that switch by saying, like, I'm going to wake up in a sense of my creative purpose, do what I am called to do, regardless of the reaction, regardless of how I might feel resistant to it. I'm just going to go ahead and put that first foot forward. So I think that will help a lot if somebody is, you know, stuck in a position of not being able to accomplish these visualizations or accomplish what they're looking for in meditation while they're there, just because there's frustration and tension within the body, or feeling like there's a million things you need to go and do, which is usually the demise of meditation, right? So set your intention. I would like to accomplish what in this process of meditation for today, or your next half hour, or the hour that you are dedicating to your meditation. And then second, have an access point, an access method, or a point of entry, whether it be stone steps or a garden gate or the water flowing that can really slow those thoughts down, just so you're going through a little bit of a path and you're trusting that that path is going somewhere, because your brain can't necessarily create everything once that portal has been breached. So you want to get to a little bit of a gate or a door or a window, steps, a platform, something like that, the end of a corridor, and then go beyond that, knowing and putting into your head that once we get to this gate and open this gate, the other side is the unknown, and that will actually turn your brain off. And so that's the purpose of that. And then three, whatever comes up on the other side of that gate, trust it completely. Understand that it has a purpose. If it's in the records or it's in the meditative state, it's in the state of stillness, it's coming to you from divine places. So just be absolutely sure that you are giving attention to what's on that other side. So just again, I just want to mention that the Akashic Records course, where I can certify you in the practitioner's course, a certification to access this space for other people, like your clients. Some people on here are writers, you know, overcoming writer's block completely and just trusting everything that comes out because it comes from this state of Akasha, right? Which is just this ancient space of oneness. So I have just been accessing the Akashic Records this whole time since probably like 2008 was when I really started my whole spiritual journey, and it's just kind of evolved. And so now I just kind of have a name for what I've been doing, and so it's really helped me a lot. Like I said, my visualizations have gone from like a 5 to a 10, and I didn't even realize that I was only at a 5, if that makes sense. So it just kind of doubled my ability, essentially, and it just feels really good to have that sense of accomplishment from the certificate, which really feeds that left brain, you know, when we're building businesses and moving forward in these ways. It's just a really good idea to have that left brain accomplishment. It just like helps with everything to feel motivated, right? So, sorry, I'm getting messages. No biggie. So the mantra again, I can see myself straying out of alignment. I choose to live from a state of my creative power instead, my creative purpose, interchangeable. I now restore my presence to what brings me joy in the now. And so it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you are watching the replay. Say hello. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is a brand new day for Thursday, which is going to be our action day. So that's going to be business coaching and really what can set that fire to forward movement. So it's going to be all about what to do in the next stage, which is going to be for the following week. So every Thursday we'll have these action plans. And it'll be for what to accomplish starting on Monday the following week, because Friday is just our freebie day. So Friday is like the day off, essentially, where I'll just provide for you guys free readings. You guys can provide your free offers or your offers in general, because it's just a free space. Like, it's just kind of a free-for-all. So I'm really excited for that, especially tomorrow, because we're going to have our first business coaching day. And I will let you guys know what comes up. I will have to access the records to get you guys our lesson plan for tomorrow. So thank you all for tuning in. I love you all dearly, and I will see you all tomorrow for our action plan day. Bye.